Good morning, Temple family and friends. Good morning to all you who are joining us live on Facebook. I'm Pastor Jeff, and I'd like to welcome you to worship on this Sunday, October 22nd. This is Stewardship Commitment Sunday. If this is your first time visiting Temple in person or joining us on Facebook, we want to thank you for being with us. It's our hope that you'll feel welcomed and that you'll be encouraged to know that God loves you no matter what. And I hear a little music playing in the background. Still going there? We'll get that. I was like, man, maybe I'm not on any meds now, but now I'm hearing music. So I'm like, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for me. Paul says these words, but since you excel in everything, in faith, in speech, and knowledge, in complete earnestness, and the love that we have kindled in you, see that you also excel in the grace of giving. Today is in our worship together, we will offer and pray over our giving intentions for 2024. If you did not receive or forgot your intention card, don't worry. They're located in the pews. They look like this. Then at the end of service, so we won't do that at the regular. Then at the end of service, so we won't do that at the regular offering time, but at a special time at the end of the service. If you're joining us on Facebook and desire to make a giving commitment, we ask that you contact the church office and request a card be sent to you, or you can simply set up a reoccurring payment through the online giving at the link of templeumcmuskegon.com if you choose. Together, via live stream and in person, we are gathered faithfully to commit our prayers, our presence, our gifts, our service, and even our witness to Christ to the glory of God. This is not a plea to get people to give money to the church. It's so much bigger than that micro. Stewardship is about how we share and care for the gifts of all creation and for the global human community. This is a time to celebrate and to declare our allegiance to God by standing in solidarity with everyone and everything. This is less a question about an image on a coin and more about whose image we are made in. Let's excel in the grace of giving. We are better together. We are temple strong. Welcome to worship this morning. A few announcements to run through. We want to give a shout out to Gunnar cued me in to give a shout out to Ruby Roberts, who's out there, who has been watching us every single Sunday. She is the secretary at Grass Lake Methodist Church, and so we just want to say hi to Ruby out there, and thanks for being faithful and hanging with us. You'll notice this morning that the worship order is a little different. We're going to run from the call to worship right into our offering so that we can have time set apart at the end of service where our prayers are normally at to be able to dedicate our commitments and to pray over those. So if it feels a little different, it is different. Refreshments and fellowship in the parlor. Also a reminder for those who are watching to share. We're reaching, almost doubling the amount of people that we're reaching now just by those shares that are going out. That a friend shares with a like on Facebook, shares the service. Somebody in their friends group likes it, says, wow, that's pretty cool, and they're sharing it. So we're averaging near 350, 400 just in the last month or so because of those shares. And we did end up with an average of about 180 in attendance on Sunday with in-person and online. So that's pretty darn good. So thank you and keep sharing. Also, Temple Golf tomorrow, weather permitting. Just have to get over the early morning frost, and you're off, and down the fairway you go. Enneagram group on Thursday. And next Sunday is a hub. Our annual conference, church conference, will happen at North Muskegon. You don't need to be a member. Just come out and hang out with us. We'll get together. It's where we do the business of the church. recommendations for pastor's salary, lay leadership approval for the church officers, all those good things that I know excite you and would make you want to come out on an afternoon, a Sunday afternoon, to be a part of. But we'll be at North Muskegon at 3 o'clock. All the churches that are conferencing together will come together with the superintendent, and we will have a conversation around ministry and what's on the horizon for us. So if you're interested, please come and be a part of that. Those who want to really know, Christmas Eve worship, so you can plan it on your calendars, will be at 7 p.m. There will not be a morning worship service on Christmas Eve, but we'll be back here at 7 p.m. for our Christmas Eve candlelight service. So put that on your calendars. Also, the boxing club update we got 5,900, well, we got over 6,000 now, but we're applying for a grant, and hopefully that'll get us over the top so that we can move up into the space upstairs. Ruben continues to train about 6 to 8 fighters weekly down here without a ring, and so we're really close. And there'll be some information coming out last week. Susan Harrison was able to interview Ruben and or Ramon, and some interesting aspects came out that really touched our hearts. And I think if we could find a way for Ramon to come and share with you what's on his heart as well, that you be impressed. But thank you for your support in that, and we just continue to do odd things. So with that, let's take a breath. And as we center ourselves this morning, hear these words from 1 Samuel. The Lord called Samuel again a third time, and he got up and he went to Eli, who was the priest, and he said, "Here I am, for you called me." Then Eli, the priest, perceived that the Lord was calling the boy. When we think about consent, I think about when my kids were really young and we went to the lake and they were learning to swim. And maybe you've done this with your own. I had my children lay back on the water and float. And they didn't want to float. They didn't trust that my hands would be underneath them. I won't let you go into the water. Just lay back and just breathe and look up at the sky. I got you. I got you. And they would fight me like, Dad, I know you do. I know you do. But there came that moment when they finally Father Keating talks about that in prayer. He says the divine energy is most powerful when it is least perceived by our faculties. When we sit down to do our centering prayer and form our intention, we know the divine presence is already there. We do not create it. All we have to do is consent. The divine energy flows into us and through us. In its purest form, it is available 24 hours a day at maximum strength. By consenting, we open to God as God is without trying to figure out who or what God is. We consent to the divine presence without depending on a medium to express it, translate it, or interpret it in terms of our personal history, cultural conditioning, or temperamental bias. God communicates God's self on only one condition: our consent. And so that's what we do each Sunday when we quiet ourselves like that. We consent to say, God, I know you're here. My chatterbox brain will not shut off, but I know you're here. Or my emotions, or my fears, or my worries, I just can't sidelight them long enough, but I know you're here. And that's a form of consenting, of just letting things go for a moment and being still in God's presence. So let's practice that once again. You might not be floating on the waters today with trusting hands underneath you, but you are a living, breathing creature that God created, precious and beautiful, and God is here, whether you know it or not. Echo these words with me. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be.